Okay, we've got Inkscape open here, which is a free software. The purpose of this video isn't to be an Inkscape tutorial, but to show you my prototyping process and to show you that it's not very hard. Anyone with some practice can do this and then begin making their own designs to laser cut and sew. We're gonna do some quick document setup here, setting the units to inches and setting our canvas to 15.7 by 15.7 because that's my cutting surface of my laser. I always want to make sure my design is going to fit that. You can also turn on the grid lines, use 1 inch by 1 inch so that I can line things up a bit easier. Now I'm going to draw out this rectangle. This is for size reference for our battery pack. This is a 3D printed battery pack that holds 4 AA batteries and 2 CR123s. The purpose of this design is to house the battery pack and keep it mounted to the back of the helmet. Once I have that rectangle, I'm going to duplicate that rectangle just as the base and then expand it just a little bit, just kind of give it like a 1/2 inch on each side. The whole design of this is going to be a vertical trifold. The battery pack is going to attach to the middle section of the rectangle, and then the bottom is going to fold up, and then the top will fold over the bottom to secure it. There's going to be Velcro involved, obviously. Okay, we're gonna add some triangle shaped flaps to the main panel. These are gonna act as anchor points so it can be shot corded to the back of the helmet, in addition to the Velcro that's gonna be on the back. So again, this is just a prototype. Maybe that part of the design will change or need some adjusting. Once I get the triangles designed, I always chamfer the edges of small shapes like this because sharp corners are weak points. They concentrate stress, making them prone to tearing. With that being said, I think for the final design, I'll chamfer the edges of all the rectangles. I just wasn't thinking that far ahead. Just trying to, make this prototype and get the video out to show people this process. Once you get the shape made, just duplicate it so it's the same size, and then flip it as needed. And then we're going to create a circle, and that circle is going to go in each of the ear-like flaps, and that's going to be the anchor point. So the shot cord will either wrap through there. But yeah, it's always a good idea to just kind of duplicate the shape that you have, and flip it around. That way they're the same size. It's always a good idea to select both the shapes and use the align tool just to get them centered either vertically or horizontally, get them in the same spot. Anytime I do a manual adjustment with the arrow keys, I always count how many, clicks I use. So if I do, 3 pushes over to the right with one side, then I do, 3 pushes to the left with the other side with the arrow keys. Once I get the triangles aligned where I wanted them to, I select the 2 triangles and the rectangle and then use the path union command. And this joins all of the paths into a single shape. This is what you want when you're laser cutting. You don't want all these extra overlapping lines because that would also get cut. When I joined those sections, I ended up with these little extra nodes that cause these little sharp points down here. So just went ahead, zoomed in, deleted those, made it a straight line. Okay, now we're gonna build the little bridges between all 3 flaps. I'm gonna do a 1 inch by 1 inch square and then union them all together. So I created 1 square and then just gonna duplicate it until I have 4. Then made space between all the shapes for these to fit. This part was a little bit tricky because I forgot you can't union groups, and the middle shape was grouped with the circles, so it took me a few times to get this right. Okay, for the union to work, all the shapes need to be overlapping, and you need to select all of them and then hit union. It will remove the line that overlaps, which is what we want. Just keep lining up all the shapes, making sure that they're vertically centered, and then union those shapes until we get what we want. We line up the circles here at the end. You see me move around these circles quite a bit, but it really doesn't matter until the very end. All of the other shapes will get unioned first. That's honestly what the process looks like when you're working with simple shapes like this. In the next video, we're actually going to take this design, we're going to laser cut it and sew it together, and then see, if it needs any sort of adjustments. We'll start testing it, and then after that, any sort of adjustments we can come back to this design and make, relatively easy now that it's, here and designed. Thanks for watching.